Good morning everyone, today we're going to be talking about add-on skills because most of you guys probably already have 5 of your end master cubes and you're wondering which stat should I focus on first. But before we jump into all of that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So the very first thing I want to showcase over here is, yes, I do have 6 end master cubes saved up at the moment, and it will be consuming 5 of these end master cubes as well as 1,000,000 meseta. So if we go over here and we go to add-on skills, and then we go to generate add-on skills, and let's just say we use the fighter for example, and we go to add-on skills level 5, you can see over here it will consume 5 end master cubes as well as 1,000,000 meseta. So now the big question is, which main effect should we focus on first? Because as we know from the 10-star rarity weapons, that does not give us a 100% crit rate. It actually gives us a special aura whenever we use a photon blast, which buffs everyone around us. Now I will be talking about the 10-star rarity weapons in tomorrow's video. I'll talk about its weapon potential, its stats, as well as compare it with the 9-star rarity weapons, because the attack stat between the current 10-star rarity weapons versus our current 9-star rarity weapons aren't that crazy. Normally it's like 100 plus DPS difference, however this time it's a little bit smaller than normal. But back to the topic at hand, personally I would focus on 4 different stats depending on what you want first. So the first one that I like to have is critical hit rate up. Just having a flat 10% increase in my crit rate is a very big deal if you're using any weapon other than the Veshmel weapons, because as we know the Veshmel weapons gives you a 100% crit rate, but you do take a hit on your potency. So if you are currently using a Tisha weapon, a 10-star rarity weapon, or when the new Melik weapons are released and you're planning to use that, you might want to use your end master cubes to increase your crit rate by 10%, because this is going to be a very big deal. It's going to give you a lot of damage. However, let's say that you don't care about crit rate simply because you are using the Veshmel weapon and you're not planning to upgrade your weapons anytime soon. Then you might want to look at the critical hit potency up. This is crit damage. So this at level 20 will actually give you 10% extra critical hit damage. So if you are using the Veshmel weapons, it's a straight up 10% DPS increase, because you always crit with the Veshmel weapon since you have a 100% crit rate. By adding this extra 10% crit damage, that's a huge boost to your DPS as long as you can maintain high crit rate or 100% crit rate in our case with the Veshmel weapons. However, let's say that you don't care about crit rate and you don't care about crit damage, but you just want an all-rounder. Then maybe you might want to focus on potency. However, do keep in mind there are 3 different types of potencies. There's no one class that just gives all potency, so you will have to pick one potency type if you go this path. So you can get melee potency up, you can get range potency up, or technique potency up. Now keep in mind at level 20 it does cap out a 5% increased potency, but only for that particular stat. So in my case, I have melee potency at level 20, so that gives me 5% melee potency. But if we look at my range potency over here, I only gain 4% range potency, and if we look at my technique potency, I get 4.75%. So it really depends on your personal playstyle. For me, it's pretty obvious. I play melee weapons almost exclusively, so maxing melee potency was a no-brainer for me. However, other than those, the bouncer one offers the most utility. Dash and glide PP recovery. As you can see, mine is currently level 19, which gives me 95% PP natural recovery whenever I'm dashing and gliding. So when I'm running around in the battlefield, especially against fights like Darkfall Solace, where you're constantly repositioning yourself, having your PP natural recovery at 100%, which means you recover photon power as quickly as if you were standing still while moving, is actually a really big quality of life improvement. And personally, I put a lot of value into this, because being able to recover your photon power naturally while you're moving applies to all content regardless of what you're playing. So let's say you're PSC bursting, Lecial exploration, limited time quest, Darkfall Solace, mining rig defense, and all of that content, you will benefit greatly through the dash and glide PP recovery if you max this out at 100%. It's very, very beneficial. And last but not least, these 2 are kind of optional in my personal opinion. The first one is PP up, so this is with the Waker. It just gives you an extra 20 photon power at max level. So if you just want 20 photon power on all of your classes, and if you don't want to buy any expensive augments or sacrifice any stats, well, the Waker add-on skill over here just gives you 20 photon power at no penalty. It's just there, flat 20 PP across the board for whatever class you play. It's very, very useful. And the last one is down critical hit rate up. This one is pretty awesome at max level. It actually gives you 15% critical hit rate when you down an enemy. So this is when you break them, an elemental down, a physical down. Usually when that happens, that's when you use your photon blast. So being able to increase your crit rate by 15% whenever the enemies are down, and let's say that you also have the Braver add-on skill critical hit rate up maxed out, that is actually going to give you 25% crit rate on add-on skills alone. And by default, your character does get 5% crit rate, so that actually gives you 30% crit rate without any gear. So just from your add-on skills alone and your character stats alone, it gives you 30% crit rate when the enemy is down. Then you can further boost this augment through your weapon potential, as well as special augments and even the fixa. So let's use my seasonal weapon here as an example. So we have 30% from our add-on skills as well as our base stats, plus 35% over here, so that gives us 65% crit rate, plus 10% over here, that's 75% crit rate. And I'm using a fixa Termina 5, which gives me 15% crit damage. So by default, we have 75% crit rate already on a downed enemy. That is incredibly high and incredibly powerful. So the chances of me hitting a crit is relatively decent whenever I use my photon blast on a downed enemy, and we can see those big and juicy numbers. Now, I know some of you guys may be asking, what about the offensive PB gauge accumulation as well as the natural PB gauge accumulation? Personally, I don't think these are that important. Sure, it's nice to get your PB gauge to fill up faster. However, honestly, I don't really see it as that big of a deal. You get a lot more value through any of the other add-on skills. That's my personal opinion. So with all that being said, let us go to our add-on skills over here. We're going to go generate add-on skills, and I am going to do the fighter so that I can max out my crit damage. So as we can see over here, End Master Cube consumes 5 and 1 million. Now, something I did not talk about are the sub effects. So we just talked about the 10 main effects. However, every single class also has 4 sub effects. Now, whenever you roll on this, you get 2 random sub effects. So under these sub effects, we can see there is jump power up, PP recovery upon joining a trial, freeze resistance up, as well as HP up. The only 2 that I want is jump power up as well as HP up. HP up at level 20 does give you 20 HP. So if you do get HP up on all 10 classes, you get an additional 200 HP, which is really awesome. And every class's sub effects are different. Let's look at the Braver, for example, over here, and we go to add-on skill. You can see the sub effects is rest assign heal amount up, HP recovery upon joining a trial, burn resistance up, as well as HP up. So the middle 2 are the ones that you kind of want to avoid. However, it's pure RNG on which ones you get. So you have no control over the sub effects and you are at the mercy of RNG. And so there is still some level of RNG even with the End Master Cubes. The only thing that you are guaranteed is everything is going to be max level at level 20. So with that said, we are going to go to the fighter over here, add on skill 5, and we are going to confirm, and we are going to pray that we get jump power up as well as HP up. And well, the critical hit potency is guaranteed to be level 20. And here we go. And we got HP up. Okay, that's fine. We got HP up. I will take it. And we got freeze resistance up. You know, this is better than the trial one, so sure, I'll take that as well. And there we go. Our new add-on skills are all level 20, and we're going to be replacing our old stats over here. As you can see, my old stats was 18, 15, 15, so I'm going to do that and say yes. And boom, voila, we are done. And there we go. We have increased our critical hit potency up by 10%, which is really nice. We've also got the extra HP, as we can see, added HP plus 20, as well as the freeze resistance. It says 50%, but honestly, I don't know how this is calculated. I'm gonna be real with you. So, yeah, 50%. Less likely to get frozen, I guess? I don't really know how the resistances work in this game, unfortunately. Now, if you were paying attention earlier and you were looking at my fighter add-on skills, you may have noticed that I already had HP up as well as freeze resistance as my substats. So there is a theory going around right now, however, I have no means to confirm it yet until I get another 4 more End Master Cubes, but the theory is it actually rolls level 20 on whatever your existing sub effects are. So for example, let's say that I use my End Master Cubes on my Braver next. That means it's going to guarantee level 20 on my critical hit rate, and then my sub effects are going to be rest assign heal amount up as well as HP up, and it's just going to roll level 20 on these 2. That is the working theory. I don't have a means to confirm it yet. However, the next time that I get 5 End Master Cubes, I will test it on the bouncer over here, and I will definitely be checking out my sub effects. Do I get level 20 HP up as well as level 20 encore jump? And if that is the case, then what you want to do is you want to roll add-on skill 1, keep rolling it until you get the right sub effects, and then use your End Master Cube to roll level 20 on your sub effects. So I will be testing that out once I get another 4 more End Master Cubes, because if we look over here, I still have 1, so I need 4 more in order to roll again, but I will be testing that theory out. Unfortunately, I was not paying much attention while recording, so I was not able to test it because, well, I just didn't think that far. Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again. But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.